Hello, everybody. It's 11:06 on WSIC News Radio, and you're listening to We're Just Saying with Senator Vickie, Sawyer, and David. Like to be part of our show, 844 Studio 4. We are streaming live on the WSIC News website, Facebook page, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, and LinkedIn. Senator Sawyer, how are you this morning?
I am very excited to be here. We had another smooth start to the radio show as the professionals that we have morphed into. We knew that we were on the air, but then we didn't know that we were on the air. So
well, sometimes when we get enthralled, because we do deep show prep, and
Right.
we get into really heady issues, things that concern people. I believe just before we came on the air, we were talking about trunk or treats, and
Right.
so which are
and needing a research
and
assistant,
needing a research
for
assistant and
this
things like that. So
show.
obviously, a little grace out there out in radio land. But if you would like to be part of the show, 844 Studio 4. So did you have a
Yes.
good Halloween, by the way?
Halloween, gosh, it feels like 100 years away.
I know, but I don't think
yeah.
we talked about it
I
last week.
know we didn't talk about it. Actually, I worked. So when I do have a paying gig, and I think we talk about it on the show, but since we're out of Raleigh, I've been catching up on all the work that I really need to get done for our insurance agency.
Because
So
believe it
that's
or
what
not,
I
you
did.
do have a day job.
I do have a day job, and there are things that have to be done for that day job. So I've really just had my nose in the books and fixing everything that I have put on the back burner for a little bit.
Absolutely. So we just came out of municipal elections on Tuesday.
Yes.
There were a number of elections
Well-
going on across the country and everything like that. So it was a mini election day, so to speak, or mini elections this
Well,
week.
North Iredell does not disappoint when it comes to elections and municipal elections.
No, they do not.
Yet again, we have a municipality that had all write-in candidates win.
And it's like, so Love Valley used to be where you would find that, but this time of the round we had it in the town of
In
Harmony.
the town of Harmony, no less. So yeah, they had. I have not researched this. That's what we were talking about. That we needed a crackpot reporter. But the word on the street is that the folks in Harmony had asked for a Halloween festival that was not granted by the town, and therefore, I'm assuming a bunch of mad mamas.
Yeah.
That usually is what it is mad mamas got together, and now they have an entire new town council, all write-ins.
Well, that will obviously that will never happen again. The Halloween festivals will move forward in Harmony.
Yes.
But there was a couple. Obviously, the up and down the I-77 corridor had a number of municipal races
Yes.
in Mooresville, Cornelius. Harken a little bit back, it seems, to the Joe Knox days when the Knox brothers ruled 77. The Carney brothers now
Yes.
are governing in cities on Long Island I-77. Chris Carney obviously elected mayor of Mooresville. Robbie Carney obviously elected new commissioner in Cornelius.
Yeah.
So very interesting. And then down in Charlotte, really the only race that was worth watching down there was Tariq Bakari, who
Yes.
actually won his race. Still the lone Republican in all of Mecklenburg County, it appears, still serving. So really
Yeah.
exciting election day. But you actually had been we had been talking a little bit about the ballot initiative, if you will, in Ohio.
Oh, right.
That basically had
Right.
made someone, and this is interesting. This was not something that the legislature put forward.
Correct.
This is something known as sort of a citizen initiated initiative.
Yes. Say that really fast a
yeah,
bunch of times.
Exactly. And so that had been initiated. And so
Oh,
basically
made
it made essentially what the news media is saying is enshrined abortion rights into the Constitution. And the language of it was very broad. It just said that, each individual person has the right to make their decisions on fertility, birth control, pregnancy, miscarriage care, and then it had abortion in there.
Yeah.
And so still very broad. There was not anything limiting the legislature's ability to, issue sort of constraints on that or regulations on that or anything. But it raised an interesting question is because in North Carolina, we don't have that.
Correct.
We don't have citizen-initiated initiatives. Everything has to come through the legislature. And so you had raised the interesting question on, should we have that in North Carolina?
Yeah. Should we? What do you think?
So that
was
back to
that
me.
was your long lead up to ask me, should we?
Yeah.
Well, I love history, and I'm not going to make the Peabody and Sherman reference this time, but I will.
It was a fantastic reference.
It was. My delivery was a little slow, but I do appreciate the reference. But, I did look back and to see where did this come from. And Nebraska was the first state to allow citizen initiatives in 1897. That is interesting to me because it became from this populist view, huzzah, history
Huzzah. There
comes
you go.
again, populist view that their elected representatives were going to D.C. and representing D.C. and not their own Midwestern states.
Yeah.
So that is where this became law. And then since then, there's only 26 other states that actually can do this. Yeah. And in the last 30 years, no state has approved any new citizen initiative processes so there's not been any expansion of this. So do you think that people should be able to put something on the ballot to vote?
No. And here's why.
Why?
Because I think that we have elective representation for a reason
Mm.
in our state, and each person elected represents the interests of
Mhm.
their area of the state and their
Mhm.
district, which is good. The problem with a citizen initiated initiative is, let's take North Carolina, for example. In such a scenario, an initiative could come out of Charlotte and Raleigh. That it would be very difficult for anyone surrounding to be able to combat, and thus you would be essentially forcing, if you will, a tyranny of the majority. To be
Right.
quite fair with you,
Yeah.
and I
Good
really
point.
think the majority of folks don't want. The folks on the east coast of North Carolina or in the west or anywhere surrounding the
Mm.
big urban areas want them calling the shots for for the overall state.
Right.
And so I do not agree with that. I think if you have ballot initiatives that you want and to see policies you want enforced, that's what your elected representatives are for.
Yeah. Right.
And they go to Raleigh and they negotiate those things. So no, I do not support that
But
at
we
all.
can change the Constitution in North Carolina. It is a living, breathing document, and so you can. And the legislature did recently put ballot initiatives on the ballot to be considered by the state. So, if you could do one change to the Constitution of North Carolina, what would it be? Off of the cuff, what do you think?
Change in the North Carolina.
Uh huh.
Well, now that voter ID
Yeah.
is back there, I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to think about that.
I have an unpopular one.
Oh, yeah, of course you do. Which one do you have?
I want to remove all political signs from the right of way. I want to stop electioneering at the
Why
polling
do you hate free
locations.
speech?
I know.
Why do you
That's
hate
where
free
it's
speech?
unpopular. I do not like when you go to vote and you get harangued by people like me who want your vote. I think it should be back up, get away, let me go from my car to the voting location with no interference. I cannot stand electioneering. If you want my vote, then do your homework and come and knock on my door or send me a mailer or do something to make sure or call me on the phone. But when I leave my car and walk to that building, leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
And lastly, do not put and muddy up the middle of the right of ways for all of everybody to see. Those signs do not affect votes. All they are psychological warfare on your opponent to make him think that you got more volunteers than you do.
You're passionate about
I
this.
I am. I'm going to run for governor based on this
Oh.
in 50 years.
I was
50
going to
years.
say, let's caveat this because that could go really wrong for you
I know.
right now. You're listening to We're Just Saying on WSIC News Radio. We'll be right back. Caveat that.
We're Just Saying with NC Senator Vickie Sawyer will return after this short break on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Santa's coming to town. Come out to Birkdale Village from 2 to 7 p.m. next Saturday, the 18th. Activity Row, Birkdale on Ice, Beer Garden, dance performances, and the tree lighting parade. Dance away the end of the night with live music. Saturday, November 18th. The fun begins at 2 p.m. and the tree lighting ceremony starts at 6. For more info, visit birkdalevillage.com. Love bingo? $1 bingos this Friday starting at 1:30 at the Iredale Senior Center. That's at 344 East Front Street. Bring $1 and your own snacks to play. $1 bingo this Friday, 1:30 to 3:30, Iredale Senior Center. Ever wanted to witness a time capsule installation? Huntersville is having a special time capsule installation December 2nd at Veterans Park during their Huntersville Christmas celebration. I wonder what will be in the time capsule. Make plans to attend now. Visit Huntersville.org for more info. December 2nd, a special time capsule installation in Huntersville. Singer-songwriter Mitch Rossell is coming to Kane Center for the Arts this Saturday. You may know Mitch from America's Got Talent or from Garth Brooks' 2022 Stadium Tour. Buy your tickets before they sell out. KaneArts.org. Country music artist Mitch Rossell this Saturday. Doors open at 7 p.m. KaneArts.org. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. Save your dates. Don't miss the Renaissance Festival. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Still a chance of showers through the rest of the afternoon, mainly between 2 and 4 p.m. We'll have 30% chance of precipitation with wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. High temperature is going to be 63 degrees, but it'll fall to 54 through the remainder of the day, 43 for your overnight low. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
It's We're Just Saying with North Carolina Senator Vickie Sawyer on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to We're Just Saying on WSIC News Radio with Senator and only Senator Vickie
Senator.
Sawyer.
I got carried away.
Yeah, you did. We'd like to be part of our show, 844 Studio 4. We are still streaming live on the WSIC News website, Facebook page, YouTube, Exploring those Twitter, LinkedIn. A little cleanup.
The passion is strong.
The passion is strong. We have gotten
About
more
electioneering.
calls. Yes, about electioneering. Okay, so for clarity, for everyone out there.
I'm not running for governor.
You are not running for governor. You had just said in 50 years,
right,
if you ran, you would run on no signs in the right-of-way.
Right.
So
Governor Martin ran on finishing 40 from Wilmington to Raleigh. My speech, and which not be anytime soon, would be to ban signs from the right-of-way.
You know, when we first started this, one of the rules was you're not supposed to get yourself into these kind
of
things.
I
and
know.
You just can't help yourself.
I know, I can't. But you know who else is getting himself into some things?
Yes, we do have a guest calling in right now who is actually running for what they say they're running for. Luke Farley running for Labor Commissioner. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, David. Senator, good to talk to y'all.
Hey, thank you for calling in, and I appreciate it. Luke, you have done something that I have not, which is put your name in to a statewide elected race for the Department of Labor. And I've been reading your background. You're really well suited for this. I mean, it seems like this is what you do in your day life. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose to run for Commissioner of Labor.
Yeah, thank you, Senator. So the number one reason is that I'm absolutely passionate about making sure that we protect both our workers and our small businesses. That's what's got me in this race. You know, workers and small businesses are the backbone of North Carolina's economy. We need to be sure our workers are safe on the job, but we need to be sure our small businesses aren't overregulated. And so that's what got me into it. This is my first run for elected office. I've got a day job. In fact, I'm at my day job right now.
Right.
And I'm a lawyer in private practice. I represent small businesses who get different kinds of citations from the Labor Department. And so that's what I've been doing the last 13 years. Now I want to go from helping people defend themselves against the department to running the department.
Well, good. And you actually had a kind of like a celebrity, at least to our show, endorsement from a former Department of Labor commissioner. Tell us about that.
I did, Senator. I have the endorsement of former Labor Commissioner Cherie Berry. Now, a lot of your listeners probably know her as Sherry Berry or Cherry Berry or just the elevator lady. And that's how I would have known her until I got to know her. But you actually pronounce her name Cherie Berry,
right.
And there's actually a fascinating story behind that name. I don't know if you all know it, but it's really actually appropriate for Veterans Day coming up.
Give it to us. Let us know.
Yeah. So Cherie Berry's father was a veteran in World War II. He participated in the liberation of France. And when he was going around, the French people were so appreciative of the Americans. They were using a phrase, Mon Cherie, and it kind of translates to sweetheart. And so he said if he survived the war and made it back and had a daughter, he would name her Cherie. And he did, and she grew up to be the first female labor commissioner in North Carolina, second longest serving statewide Republican after Jesse Helms, and that's Cherie Berry. And she's become a good friend and mentor to me, and I'm so grateful to have her support and her endorsement in this race.
Well, good. Well, thank you for sharing that. At least I am all about history, and
Yes,
that is
you
an
are.
awesome history lesson. And so much of North Carolina has those type of stories all throughout it. Now, you've been on the campaign trail, and in the last couple minutes that we have with you, tell me, what is it like running statewide? What does your day entail?
It's fantastic. I mean, you're in a different county or city every day, sometimes multiple counties and cities in a day. But it's an experience like no other, and nobody who does it will ever be sorry they did it, because you get to meet so many fantastic people and go to every corner of this state, places you might not otherwise have had a reason to go to. And I have just loved being a statewide candidate and meeting people all across this state. So, Senator, I recommend it. If you have some time on your hands,
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Good. Now, let's see. Before you got on, I was goofing around about a constitutional amendment that I would have loved to support, and that is the removal of all political signs from the state's right of ways. And I had gotten a little carried away and said I was going to run for state office, which I am not. So if someone wants to learn about you more, Luke, let us know how we can reach out and learn more about you and your campaign.
Yeah, thank you. You can go to lukeforlabor.com. That's the number 4, lukeforlabor.com. And I will, if any of your listeners are going to be at the District 10 convention tomorrow, I'll be there too, and they can meet me in person and sort of vet me and ask me about why I'm running and what my vision is for the office.
Very good. Well, Luke, thank you so much for giving us a call. That is Luke Farley, who's running for the Department of Labor. And what he meant by the Convention 10 is tomorrow. The 10th Congressional District representation of the Republican Party will be meeting at Iredell County Courthouse at 4 p.m.
That's correct. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you all. You all have a great day.
Thank
You
you.
too. Since we're in the phone mode, why don't we go ahead? We do have a call. Doug's been waiting on the line. Doug, how are you doing today? You're on with Senator Sawyer.
I'm doing great. I hope you all are doing well.
Doing
Yes,
well.
sir.
Glad to hear it. I have to take a little contest with your point of view on putting out those campaign signs in the rights of way there.
Yes, sir.
In 2012, I got 109,053 votes by simply putting out about 50 to 60 signs in key locations around the north end of Mecklenburg County, over in Mint Hill, and in Pineville. And all I did was put those signs out. I didn't knock on doors. I didn't talk to anyone. I think I got invited to 2 or 3 events. It was all because of name and face recognition from those big signs with my face on it. People remembered it when they went to the polls, and that's how I got the numbers.
Did you win?
Wait.
No, I did, however, get the 3rd highest number of votes in Mecklenburg County.
Nice.
Unfortunately, my opponent got the 2nd highest number of votes in Mecklenburg County, but I did get the highest. I did get the highest number of Republican votes by something like 60 to 65,000. So it was well worth it. But I mean, everybody has their own way of doing things. But when you said that, I had to call in because that's how I got my vote.
Thank you, Doug. And I appreciate that because I do know that it is politically unpopular for me to do that. I just always, as the one who puts up and takes down the signs, just have a love-hate relationship with those things. It was all tongue in cheek.
I put mine out.
Uh-huh.
By the time I go to pick mine up the next morning, somebody else already come by and picked them up. So, I mean, I don't even have to worry about that. Somebody else who doesn't like the signs takes them down.
Yeah, we call that
I do have a quick question
yes,
for
sir.
you, though, Vickie,
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
if I may.
Sure.
Do you know or can you find out why AM radios do not work in Mooresville?
I will find out. I do not know. So that's a good question. So we'll put that on the list.
And the reason I'm asking is because I retired a while back, but I put out those community newspapers that you probably get too in Mooresville, the Herald, and we do it in the Lake Norman area too. And when I get into Mooresville, very few places can I pick up AM radio stations. And in fact, there are some places where you just get this coming through the radio at maximum volume. And I have no idea what's causing it, but like everywhere in downtown Mooresville, there's this issue.
Good question. We'll find out for you. Thank you so much for your call.
Thanks for the call,
Thank
Doug.
and for
so
your
much. I
perspective
appreciate
about
it.
signs. Yes, I appreciate it.
Sorry, we'll agree to disagree.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You'll have a great day.
Yes,
You too.
sir.
I've always wanted to say this
Bye.
on the radio. Back to the phones. We have Mike here to talk with the senator. Hi, Mike. You're on with Senator Sawyer. Good morning.
Vickie, how are you doing today?
Yes, sir. I'm well. I hope you are.
I am. I just wanted to comment on your signs.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to put your name in as a write-in for governor this year when we have our another election. Because if I haven't made up my mind by the time I get out of the car, I don't want to be harassed trying to figure it out going in.
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
the signs and the harassment. Yeah, you better make up your mind before you get there, or don't go.
Yeah. Thank you. Yay. So now we have a
Do your
divided
homework.
audience.
Exactly. We have a representative audience.
Yeah.
We have pros and cons. Mike,
Well,
thanks so much for the
I'll
call.
do a write-in for Vickie Sawyer.
Thank you.
this year.
Thank you, Mike.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. It is. Thank
Look
you
what
so much
you
for calling.
started.
Well, it is a thing. I mean, these signs and getting harangued. We call it the gauntlet. When you get out of your car and you go into people want to hand you stuff and talk to you, and there's passion on both sides. I know.
you just like can't help it.
I can't.
You just step right in it.
Because it's election season, and I'm thinking about this. And
But the most calls we have, and when you think about the deep philosophical and informative stuff we engage with on this call, and the most callers we have gotten in a long time has been because you talked about political signs.
Hey,
in the right
I'm
of way.
in. Let's continue.
Exactly.
To talk about it.
There we go. Well done. Yes, I have so just a little behind the scenes action here for those who don't know. There's this little thing in front of me called a Stream Deck, and we have sound effects now. And so I am extraordinarily excited about this. I'm going to be working with our crack engineer Bill on various and sundry sounds to surprise you with.
That is going to be lovely. I'm appreciative of that. It'll be lovely.
Well,
but
you know what? Be better. Is that better?
That would have been for Doug. That would have been the sign for Doug when it's it. But I actually do appreciate what Doug said, because that is anecdotal data that actually prove that those signs, I guess, do work. Now I'm talking about, though, he said the ones with pictures and the big ones. I'm talking about those little ones that go like what size are those things? They're the yard signs, I guess.
Yeah, the yard signs on the wire stands. Yeah, the ones that get thrown up. We pay cash for houses, and yard sale, garage sale in this neighborhood. Those kind of stuff. Yeah, I totally get that.
Hey, maybe I would have the Street Mowing Association on my side, if there's such a thing, like the Landscapers United against the yard signs.
Yeah, Landscapers United against yard signs. I think there's a whole political underpinning here that you're starting to cultivate for your run in 50 years.
In 50 years. But as we'll talk about in Rated X, I probably won't be able to make it that long.
No, you will not be able to make it that long, considering how old some people think you are, which you are extraordinarily young and everything like that.
No, about that. But, hey, we have a guest caller coming in. That's a really big deal. I hope you guys stay with us.
Yes, we do. After the break, we have Representative Patrick McHenry calling in to talk about things going on at the federal, national, and international level. So you're listening to We're Just Saying on WSIC News Radio. We'll be right back.
More We're Just Saying with NC Senator Vickie Sawyer is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Folks, Randy Marion sells vehicles the King of Price way, but did you know our service department? We service vehicles the King of Price way. We sell tires, we sell brakes, we sell batteries, we sell the maintenance. We help you keep your vehicle on the road safe, ready to drive. Whatever the season is, Randy Marion Service Departments have you covered. Come see us today because, folks, again, we sell the King of Price way and we do service the King of Price way.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. still a chance of showers through the rest of the afternoon, mainly between 2 and 4 p.m. We'll have 30% chance of precipitation with wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. High temperature is going to be 63 degrees, but it'll fall to 54 through the remainder of the day, 43 for your overnight low. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Here's a WSIC Business Minute with local entrepreneur and host of Local Biz Now, Joe Vagnone.
Based on the web, guys, a top international website designed for one of the most important pages to get right is the About page. Your About page is a powerful tool to showcase your unique story and define your differences between competitors. Share values and beliefs that resonate with them. Craft an engaging narrative using visuals that convey your brand's mission and vision. Invest time in creating a captivating About page. Let it reflect your company's personality and values. Make sure it's visually appealing, easy to read. Feature team photos, bios, highlight your company's history, and showcase awards and achievements. I mean, after all, not everybody can be Joe.
This has been a WSIC Business Minute with Joe Vagnone. Listen for tips on how to improve your business daily on WSIC News Talk Now.
Hi, this is Andy with Lake Mountain Coffee, located at 110 West Broad Street in Statesville. Many of you probably know us from our large coffee house downtown, but did you know we're also the owners of Statesville's first and only coffee roasting facility? We purchase coffee beans from around the world, bring them right here to Statesville, roast them in our facility for our customers around the region. Why would you go to a grocery store, purchase old coffee beans off the shelf, or any other source when you can have fresh roasted beans at Lake Mountain Coffee, 131 West Broad Street in Statesville?
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 9th through 19th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Naughty or Nice, explore a nautical-inspired entrance filled with coastal Christmas charm. Plus, shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets at southernChristmasShow.com. Online tickets courtesy of Craft Body Scan.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Morningstar Baptist Church loves its family, its community, and its country, but most importantly, loves Jesus Christ. Hear their ministry Sunday mornings at 9:30 on WSIC.
It's We're Just Saying with North Carolina Senator Vickie Sawyer on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to We're Just Saying on WSIC News Radio with Senator Vickie Sawyer and David. If you'd like to be part of our show, 844 Studio 4. We are still streaming live from the WSIC News website, social media, YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and LinkedIn. So, like, just a deluge of calls about signs, man. And we're getting follow-up texts. There's passion around this.
There is. I got a text from a friend who said, forget signs. I had to put in a bigger mailbox to be able to get mail the last time you ran because of the mailer.
So I think that's coming at you, right?
Yes,
there.
I know.
So you stirred a hornet's nest.
You know what? We should go further into this. We will have a debate.
No, we really should not. We really should stop now before this just gets completely out of hand.
I stand by my stance.
Yeah, but you stand by your stance. Well done. While we're waiting for Congressman Patrick McHenry to call in, did want to pick up real quick back on because it was something that was interesting. Virginia happened.
Yeah, Virginia.
So Virginia, there was I guess it was a couple of cycles ago. There was a lot of really just focus on the fact that Governor Youngkin had won as a Republican. You know, Virginia has been a reliably Democrat state. Their General Assembly had been turned over, at least in national elections, and in the governor's.
I think 2018 is when they flipped over or went purple. But they were a purple state, and a lot of people in North Carolina look to Virginia to try to see what the bellwether is of what's going to be in our next election. So that's really concerning for a Republican Party to see, especially some of the things that have been nationalized politically, which is, if you want to go back to the Ohio legislation, and that is over abortion, which some of the things that you could say in the Virginia legislature, they had thought they were going to be able to flip the Senate to Democrat. Not only were they not able to do that, they lost their House of Delegates. So it was not just you didn't win. It was like you didn't win and you lost by a lot.
Right.
And so some people are focusing that around this abortion battle cry from the Democrats, and they see that as a winner that are coming politically. And not only is it seen, it's being proven to be a winner in states. Ohio is considered a Republican state. I think I looked it up this morning. It's a 53% Republican and 45% Democrat state. And yet with their abortion vote, it was 56% that voted to enshrine abortion into their constitution, as well as the legalization of medical marijuana for use of 21 years or older. There was another 56%.
Yeah, and it was specifically medical marijuana.
No. This is let's see, recreational marijuana use for Ohioans age 21 plus. Legalize, limit homes, cultivation of marijuana plants, and regulate the marijuana industry. Now, that was not in the Constitution. That is a state law. So the abortion was the Constitution, and the Mary Jane was actually a state law. So, yeah, both of those happened in a Republican state. And Virginia lost or didn't flip, and then lost seats in a very purple state. And then what does that mean for our state in North Carolina coming in 2024?
Well, and that's interesting because, you just finished redistricting, right? And so, there's several competitive races, it looks like, based off of the way the districts are drawn. But, medical marijuana has been a subject over the last couple of legislative sessions for you all. And I know that it's been looked at, had another push this cycle, did not make it in. And so I think it was, we had casino gaming and VLTs. That was also part of it, and that's a lot of vice to stick in one session probably. But, from a, strictly around, medical marijuana in Virginia was legalized a while back. And so as was like casino gaming a little while back. Now we have gotten into a point where, casino gaming. Yeah. And so we're getting into a point where it seems like it's kind of flowing down south towards North Carolina.
And let me take a little different track, because it's something that I think last night I heard on the presidential election coming from Vivek. We have, as Republicans, become this cycle of losers. And this last night, I feel like we lost those elections, or at least on some of those. Well, it's the Republican Party in both of those states may have, lost those elections. So where do you stop thinking about, I have to be perfectly right in my minority, or start working with the middle to come to a consensus so you can continually move the ball forward in a conservative fashion? So are we going to just sit there and say we were right, Trump won, this is it, over and over and over again, and realize that we continue to lose at the national and state level? Or are we going to wake up and actually move towards a place that we can actually win? I don't know that we are.
Well, and I think that therein lies the challenge is when you have a conversation about, for example, take the presidential, and we've talked about this before. A lot of polling has come out with various candidates for the GOP, and in a number of those polls, 3 and 4 Republicans sometimes are beating Joe Biden, and sometimes Trump's barely getting by.
Yeah.
And so at some point in time, and I think that I'm not a fan of Vivek. I'll just put it out there. I'm not at all.
I didn't like what he did.
But that is a valid point of, yes, we have begun losing these things because in many instances, I think that there is a groundswell still of dislike for President Trump. That's just how it is. And then I think there is a portion inside the Republican Party that demands total purity of perspective. And we used to talk about being a big tent. We're not that. And again, I'm not saying compromise on principles that you can't compromise on. That's not what I'm saying. But we also have to understand that there is absolutely no candidate that will line up with most of us 100%. And to be fair, the candidate that does line up with most of us 100% probably can't win.
Right.
Because there is so much differing and nuanced perspectives that come inside the Republican Party. You and I have seen it as being part of the Iredell County GOP. There's a cross-section of views on things and things like that.
There should be.
There should be.
There is no one right ideology. And this whole mentality of, forgive me, this Freedom Caucus stuff, all they mean is freedom to think like me caucus. They are this purveyor of what they think purity is in the Republican Party, and their numbers continue to dwindle because their exclusionary politics is doing nothing but leading us down and circling us down the drain of what's happening. We see that at the federal level and all the way down to the local level, and it's time for it to change.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I do think we do have Congressman McHenry now on the phone, so we'll go ahead and jump in. Congressman Patrick McHenry, how are you, sir?
Doing great. Better late than never. Sorry I'm late for the call.
No
Hope
worries at all.
everybody's
I'm sure
having
you
a
have a
good
couple
Friday.
things going on.
Congressman, we have
Oh, of course.
been fumbling through this radio show all the way. So from a faux pas that I've said about running for governor to sign wars, then your late call is fitting right in. So we're good. Thank you. Just thank you for being part of the show.
Well, and clearly this Congress is stumbling through the year as well. So it all fits.
So, Congressman, I know that there's been a number of things that have gone on. You know, obviously the speaker race finally settled. I know that you had a huge hand in that. You've gotten a couple of memes, a sketch on Jimmy Fallon, so probably more pub than you probably ever wanted, but which the Jimmy Fallon thing was fantastic, if I may say. But I know one of the things that you all have really been focusing on is the continuing issues over in Israel and their pushback in the Gaza Strip against Hamas. I know that there was a censure vote this week for one of the Representative Rashid Tlaib. So what is sort of now that things seem to be settled from administrative leadership standpoint, what is going on inside of Congress around Israel right now?
Well, we have a significant amount of give and take in the House and the Senate on this. The crux of it is we have two bills that have to pass. I mean, any sort of right-thinking person acknowledges that we have to fund the government. There is no fight that conservatives win in a government shutdown about fiscal restraint. We usually end up paying up more post-shutdown. So I think a shutdown is a fool's errand because it's not effective. It's never been proven to be effective at getting fiscal restraint or policy wins. So we have to fund the government, and we've got to restrain spending to the maximum extent we can. We've got to cut spending to the maximum extent we can, acknowledging that Republicans only control the U.S. House, not the Senate and not the White House. And this White House and this Democrat Party in Washington wants to spend at an unbelievably high rate. And they showed that when they control Washington. That's why we have inflation that's out of control and why the American people are suffering under these high prices that we see everywhere. And so the second bill that has to happen is funding our national security initiatives. That means fighting the bad guys where they are rather than here on the homeland. It means it's supporting our allies and making it sure that free people in the world can remain free from aggression. And if we do those things effectively and smartly, we can also benefit U.S. national interests over the next 20, 30, 40 years if we do it smartly. So let me unpack that. We've got to support Israel. We've had our clearest and best connection with any other country in the world is our connection with Israel. And I think it's a sacred, important connection for us to have as Americans. That means we have the best technology in the world. The Israelis provide to us, and we provide to them. It is a mutually beneficial relationship when it comes to technology. You see what their ability to shoot down these rockets out of the sky before they impact people and buildings and everything else. That is technology that they've developed and components of which the U.S. ingenuity helped develop as well. So we've benefited. Both of us have benefited from this technology exchange. We also need to support them with a little bit of help monetarily to buy those supplies that are mostly made here in the United States. So that's important right now. Because of the terrorist attack, the 10/7 attack, the October 7th attack that they experienced, which was massive, horrific. And the level of barbarity is just beyond human comprehension. So we obviously have to do that. We also have to make sure that we fund the fight in Ukraine. And I want to just, if I can, explain why this is important. These are Ukrainian lives and Ukrainians that want to be free from Russian aggression. Number one. And we should support free peoples trying to remain free everywhere in the globe. Number one. Number two, this is one of our most important adversaries, top 2 or 3 worst actors globally. And what we can do is support through munitions and weapons Ukrainians fighting for themselves. That is far better than funding Americans to go fight for other people's freedoms. We're providing them weapon systems so they can fight. And so that's second point. Third point is by doing 1 and 2, the third value is that we deteriorate Putin's military capacity and take them off the playing field for aggression around the world. There is huge benefit out of that to the world if we can do that appropriately. And fourth and finally, you can then take these pivot players like India, these countries that aren't perfectly aligned with anyone. They just want the best deal for their citizens and for their economy. Ukraine is important because we're drawing down weapon systems from around the world, which brings those players to U.S. supply chains. So if India is giving up these weapon systems they got from Russia and from the Soviet Union to support Ukraine, they're going to backfill with American capacity, which brings them into our fold. Final point, and this is the final point. I'm a Cold War conservative. I think it's important for us to kill communists wherever they are in the world and communist aggression wherever they are in the world. So that's my final point, which is these are legacy communists that are fighting their neighbors and trying to kill people and have more power and control, which is part and parcel of being a communist. So anyway, sorry, that's a long answer, but it's an important one to get right.
No, 100%. And also, obviously on the home front, you chair the Financial Services Committee. What's next for you all? I mean, you mentioned earlier, that, the key is for avoiding, any type of government shutdown and everything like that. But what are some other major priorities that you all are pursuing right now?
Well, first, financial stability. I think this administration's done a terrible job bringing financial stability to a really complicated economy. The economic policy of this administration is atrocious. That's why the American people are not supportive of President Biden, even if they're supportive of governors across the country. So I think the economic leadership of this administration should be called out because it is truly painful on the American people. And so we're calling attention to the regulatory actions that make the life more expensive for the American people, number one. Number two, we're trying to push policy that enables us to use technology more freely without government intervention or the government tilting the playing field to the biggest players in technology. Third, finally, we want a more competitive economic system so people can get investments and opportunity to invest with less expense and more opportunity. So those are the things we're pushing broadly, and we've got bills specific to those that we hope to get across the line in the next couple of months.
Awesome. Great. Well, Congressman, thank you very much. I really do appreciate your time. I know you're busy, but real quickly want to say very happy that you remained in our area as our congressman. Yes. You still represent us from a 10th district standpoint. Do have 10th district convention tomorrow up in Statesville. So really excited that you get to continue representing us. Hopefully you're excited as well.
Yes.
Oh, I'm very excited. Grateful to have Iredell County remain the centerpiece of the 10th district, and I'm going to represent this 10th district.
Very good.
Great. Well, Congressman Patrick McHenry, thank you so much for your time, sir. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, y'all too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Congressman Patrick McHenry calling in and talking with us today. And so for those of us who joined back midstream coming in off the radio, on the radio, just a reminder that we do archive this show as a podcast on the YouTube as well as the Facebook page. So you can go back and listen to our full interview with Congressman Patrick McHenry. But
so continuing our trend, we actually missed a break, and so
but you know what? We're rebels.
We're rebels. rebels.
We have to go with the flow. You know, you can't. You know, nobody puts Vickie in a corner.
Wait a minute.
So we gotta, you know, we gotta be us.
David, a rebel does not go with the flow.
That's right.
We can't be rebels and go with the flow at the same time.
Exactly.
So what are you talking about?
We can.
Okay.
We're a paradox.
Okay. Is that what
We're a paradox. Exactly. We're a paradox.
Okay. We're like salt and pepper, right?
Exactly.
We go together, but we're two distinct different things.
Exactly.
Okay.
100%. See, I'm glad that you
it.
recognize that. We are highly complex individuals, Vickie Sawyer, as our listeners will attest to.
Well, apparently I'm old, by the way.
Yes. So
rated X.
We'll go ahead and jump into our rated X segment. So you have I don't know I would call it a stalker, but you would typically, last week during our Rated X segment, we had a couple of clapbacks, if you will, at you from D-O-G at you. And he does not like when you get awards. He does not like when you get recognition.
First of all, then good, because I'm going to recognize myself yet for another thing. I am the recipient of 4 continuous weeks with no workplace accidents.
So you still have not gone back at anybody?
I have still.
Not even from your fake accounts?
No, I have no fake accounts. We have established that before, but I would like to celebrate 4 weeks of positivity.
Excellent.
So I know.
But obviously you're not swaying D-Dog.
No, I'm not.
He does not appear to like you. So what did you get hit with this week?
Yeah, so remember, Rated X is our segment where we talk about tweets that I put out and the fun things that come back. And so this was a good one. I actually am very honored by this award. The North Carolina Travel Industry Association just tweeted out this week, and I'm very grateful for it. We're pleased to announce that Senator Sawyer is our 2023 Senator of the Year, and she'll be our guest of honor next week at their dinner in Raleigh at their convention. They also have other guests, and so there was a picture of me. And
so you got an award?
I got an award.
Congratulations!
That's great.
So we don't get to use that one. No. Panthers don't get awards or wins. So since you got an award or win, I thought we'd use that. I'm going to be so obnoxious with this.
You've been waiting for that one,
I'm going to be so obnoxious with this, but please continue.
Well, you know the award that didn't get one last night.
What's that?
Was the
Panthers, exactly, which is why I have to use this, because rarely do you get to hear that anymore.
Oh my gosh, how terrible. No. So this wasn't the D-Dog. This was someone who loves Deer Creek Creamy.
Do they have a Ukraine flag?
They do have a Ukraine flag.
Okay, so then they're a better person than you. Then they're a better person.
They are a better person than me. Okay. So the tweet back is, after I say, thank you so much for this distinguished award. Correction, it's State Senator Vickie Sawyer. An award from lobbyist. How charming.
Clarification, it's State Senator. So,
yeah. As if I were to be confused with the two that we have.
Exactly.
The federal senators.
Oh my Lord, bless people's hearts. Bless people's hearts. So, but he didn't like that you got that.
No, apparently not. It irks him that people are nice to one another in a professional business that often people are not. So getting that distinguished award is obviously shame on me.
Yes. How
shame
dare you,
on me for actually
that?
Working to get legislation passed that helps everyone. And
but I thought D-Dog hit you though.
Oh.
Because this was funny. D-Dog had something funny in here.
Oh no, I think we're giving this guy too much.
No,
too much airtime.
Never.
Okay,
no, you had a thing in there. Yeah, you had a thing in there. You had a thing in there where you were talking. It was a retweet on some.
No, it was a Veterans Day thing.
Yes, it was a Veterans Day thing and everything like that. And you retweeted something, and D-Dog responded back with "old and nasty."
Oh, I didn't see that one.
You didn't see that one? Oh my gosh, I thought you had seen that one. So last week you were a granny.
Yeah.
And this week, oh, nasty. He does not like you. I'm assuming it's a he. It could be a girl, I guess. A woman. He's not a fan of yours. What did you do to this poor person?
Apparently, I took their peppy and killed it or something.
You
I have
did
no
something.
idea.
You know what? He probably loves political science in the right of way.
He probably does.
He's all
Next
about
week,
them.
it's going to be about political science.
Yeah. I'm going to put all the signs in the right of way, and you can't stop me, Granny.
Oh, you folks are so funny with their hatred, because it's just.
The hate is strong.
Do you think they when someone sends out something mean like that? Do you think they stand stand up straight in their chair and like clap themselves on the back.
Oh, absolutely.
And they feel better.
Absolutely.
Like, is their latte so much thicker and creamier at that point? And does the sun come out?
I guarantee you when D-Dog does this, after he's done it, he goes out and he like goes to Starbucks and he gets the triple everything.
He gives
and
himself
he
an
sits
award.
back. He gives himself an award because he's like, yeah, I showed her.
Yeah. Thinking about award hungry people.
Take that.
Yes, this bitter award.
Exactly.
I don't know. What is that old saying? Like, if you can't say something nice, don't say something at all. Like,
Well, if you can't say something nice, tweet it.
Oh, okay.
That's what you do. Or exit.
That should be my name.
What is even the term now?
It's really hard for me.
Is it post it?
I was thinking about when you were in school and you had a beloved teacher and she got married halfway through the school and you couldn't call her like Mrs. Jones. You had to call her Mrs. Smith.
Always
all of a sudden,
that. I always hated that.
She was always Mrs. Jones to me. So for me, Twitter is Mrs. Jones. It's hard for me to say a new name.
Well, that's part of us being rebels. We still do tweets.
Okay.
We still say Twitter.
Okay.
But speaking of one quick interesting thing that happened this week, State Auditor Beth Wood had announced she wasn't going to run for re-election, but now she was going to finish out her term, but now actually is resigning.
You know, I really looked up to Beth Wood because she, to me, represented a strong female, even though she is not a Republican. I can admire her tradecraft, and what I thought, I held her in high esteem, thinking that she was like one of the good ones. And I think for a lot of her service, she was. But this State Bureau of Investigation apparently has been looking at her for the last 4 to 6 months. I'm hearing other things are going to come out from this investigation. It's not just about necessarily the car. Maybe it is. It could be just gossips who are saying that, so I probably shouldn't repeat it, so forgive me for that. But yeah, I'm just disappointed because I really looked up to her as someone who role model in a way about how to speak truth to government corruption, and she was the one who would bust anybody's chops over any type of money and impropriety, whether it be a city councilman or a state of council. I mean, she would go through and investigate and hold them accountable for the taxpayers' money, which I really admired. And just had a strong jaw all the way through doing it. This is unfortunate and sad for me that this is going to be now ingrained and entrenched a part of her legacy as to have some mispropriety.
Yeah. And I hate to see it too, because again, like you said, she was not a Republican, but you could respect the way she went about her job, in handling things. And like, I don't think, what's really impressive to me is that given how you feel about strong women in leadership and my respect for them, the fact that you liked her, I mean, that's saying something right there.
I'm not saying that I don't appreciate strong women in legislative life.
You just don't like that I like strong women in legislative life. I'm only allowed to like one.
No, it's just fun to pick on you about it.
I totally understand. That's fair.
Just fun to pick on you about it because you don't often see men who have strong political opinions that often go in by. It's actually admirable. I think it is for you to look at both women and men and just find the goodness, regardless of if they wear 5-inch heels or 3-inch heels, right? Which I thought was a total.
Oh God, yeah,
that was a total silly thing. And did you know that Ron DeSantis was actually 5'11"?
I did not know. I'm 5'11".
Yeah, I know. And so why are they giving him this beef on wearing? He wears. It's called cowboy boots, y'all. They have a heel. That's just kind of what it is. So I don't know. I just kind of feel like some of this smear stuff is just disgraceful, and I saw that last night on the stage. So I am supporting you in your love of Nikki Haley.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Welcome to the team.
Yeah, I didn't say I'm on the team. I just support your support. That's a very political answer.
That is a very political answer. In the time we have left, though, do want to acknowledge it is Veterans Day.
Yes.
And thank you to all of our veterans who serve and keep us protected. Have a number of Veterans Day events that have gone on this week, and I think a couple more tomorrow. So if you know any veterans, interact with any veterans, please thank them for their service.
Absolutely. Come out to Mooresville and Statesville. They both, and I think North Mac, we all have things going on tomorrow for Veterans Day.
Yep. This has been We're Just Saying on WSIC News Radio with Senator Vickie Sawyer. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.